What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Game Time Discussions. I'm Emery Cozy. I'm sitting here with Cameron Selby. Today, we're going to work on some best ball mania drafts. Cam and me were kind of going over some of the stuff today, and we're going to want you all to be in these drafts with us. That's something that we want every week. So we're going to leave a few minutes here, probably 10-ish minutes. We'll start around 7:10. Maybe we'll give Nick an extra minute today so he can get in there with us. So we might do a 7:11, and we'll get after it. But lots of stuff to talk about. We're getting right down to the wire, and there's still contracts that are not signed, extensions that are not signed, and we just got to figure it all out. Jamar Chase is the guy that's new on that list. Not new, but it's a new thing that we're seeing because it's getting so close to crunch time.
It's officially alarming.
Yes.
In our eyes. But yeah, so if you've been following us as long as we've been doing it all summer, you've known that we've said in these kind of best ball drafts, we hate the second round because it's so gross. The first round is becoming just as uncomfortable, and it's because everybody that's up there who is talented and should be there is dealing with something. If you're not in the middle of the draft, you're taking a chance because CMC's hurt, CD's holding out, Chase is holding out, Justin Jefferson is with a quarterback on his fourth team. Tyreek now is in a hand glove cast, whatever you want to call it. Puka's hurt. Jahmyr Gibbs just got hurt. So it's just like basically the only guys in the first round that aren't really dealing with anything are AJ Brown, Bijan, Brees Hall, and Garrett Wilson, and I guess Amon-Ra as well. And so it's changing in these ADPs. There not much happened this week in terms of injuries, significant news or anything, but ADP's changed even more this week than it did last week, and less news came out. So it's just kind of like a combination of manipulation, casuals joining, and now screwing up draft boards and stuff.
Right.
Running backs are coming up the wazoo just because they're doing mock drafts on Yahoo and they think that
it should be the same on Underdog and DraftKings. Yeah.
So
some of the things too, Brandon Ayuk still hasn't signed. That's annoying because we don't know what that means. We'll hopefully get that news soon.
My current vibe with it is that he now will be staying, but my tone has changed 3 or 4 times now. But right now, the vibe is that they're more so working towards an extension than they are to trade him.
Right.
But maybe that just means that they're going to trade him tomorrow. Who knows? But that really affects somebody like Debo and George Kittle, who have risen up about half a round to a round, depending on where they're at.
Sorry.
Like Debo is now in the top 20, which he was, flirting with the late 20s, so a full round jump. George Kittle has now he's actually kind of stayed the same a little bit, 67 overall. So he's still around the 6th round. But Brandon Ayuk being out or not with the team is hugely impactful on those guys because, again, we've been saying Debo, he is a 1-2 turn kind of player without Brandon Ayuk. George Kittle jumps up to possibly flirting with the top 5 that we've been talking about, that you need to leave every draft with one of those top 5 if you're doing a redraft league. He enters that conversation with an Ayuk departure.
For sure.
But
some of the guys, though, that, we still are uncomfortable with, I mean, you can make some cases. I'm looking at the rankings right now, but, the running backs are so much higher than they were before that you have to get a little uncomfortable. Our old school strategies don't work as much. Now it's like, who's the best player available? What are you going to do in those situations? So that's a thing. But yeah, I definitely think that, the second round's weird. The third round's a little weird, but after that, the draft just kind of flows a lot better.
Like throughout the summer, especially early on, we were doing a lot of zero and hero RB, which zero RB means 0 running backs through the first 4, 5, 6 rounds. And then hero running back is usually taking 1 and then waiting about 4, 5, 6 rounds. Now it's kind of like all these guys that we like are pumping up so much. You really kind of got to grab 2 and then just wait about 7 and then build the rest of your team, but kind of anchor your team with kind of 2 really solid plays in the first 4 or 5 rounds. That's kind of what it's trending towards based on ADP because, as much as you go towards one way, you can't force one strategy. If a draft is flowing in a certain way, you have to adapt.
Right.
That's kind of one of the bigger tidbits if you want to watch our best ball intro video. I mean, less than 3 weeks until the season starts, so not much time left to get into this, but kind of getting some practice, especially if you want to get more into it next off season.
Right, for sure. Um, Also, I was gonna see. I know that we got some people that want to draft with us. We're gonna do the first draft here in about 5, 6 minutes. Giving everybody time to get here. But if you do want to draft with us, please put something in the comment section so that we can see it, so we know who we're drafting with, what everybody's names are, so we can look at teams and go through all those things. But yeah, and and then some guys that are moving up boards that we were talking about, and down boards. Let's talk about the Chiefs offense. Obviously,
Yeah, I
it's a big
mean,
one.
they were kind of one of the big differences in terms of like what we found out this week. Obviously, Marquise Brown, the first game on the very first throw, injures his kind of shoulder in a very strange way, kind of landing on his chest and rotating in. And so it's kind of more significant, or like it's less of a precedent of how long he'll miss, because there's been like Tyreek Hill who missed like 6 weeks, but some guys have been able to come back in 2 weeks. But
Right.
it sounds like he's going to at least miss week one, especially since they're on the first game on Thursday night, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So 15 days away. And then he's got 10 days of rest. So maybe he comes back for week two, but his ADP's plummeted. Rashee Rice, growing sense that he is not going to be suspended this season. That is something different than what we've believed all summer long. So we've missed out on a lot of shares of him when he was in the 80s and 90s because we were just so dead set on it. We're not going to bat 1,000.
It should have been a
It should have
suspension in
been a
my opinion.
suspension
Yeah.
this
Right.
early. And typically, I know the NFL likes to let legal processes play out, but they've suspended people for not being guilty, but they typically just kind of go back and forth on how they want to execute things. So,
Right. For sure.
but that coupled with the Marquise Brown injury has vaulted him up our rankings and everybody else's. So, uh, really, we still are not looking to force him in best ball because he is now in the third and fourth rounds. But in redraft, his ADP hasn't caught up, so he's still at the 6, 7 turn. So that's a very different kind of conversation discussion. That's why you kind of got to play the ADP game for some of those guys. And Xavier Worthy had a really solid preseason 2 game. He's probably the biggest riser of the top 100. He jumped a full round into the 5th round now, is where his ADP is going on this platform. So,
Yep. So I was actually asking, do you want to plug in the computer that's up there? That one did not get plugged in. We seem to have
that's
forgot
not
that.
what
So we want to make sure we have that plugged in.
Yeah. I'll go do that real quick.
Yeah. No worries. I just realized it looking over there. Y'all have no idea how many like cords and things that we have to get set up before this, and sometimes those important ones like that get missed, and we have to have those. But it looks like got a few people in the chat. I have 7 right now on my screen. Nick's here. That's good. Nice to see you, Nick. Happy to see you. Both Nicks are here with us. And Dustin. I think Dustin will probably be drafting with us. Nick will be drafting with us. We've had Brandon draft with us, Steiger. We've had some randoms, which is really fun, that we don't know personally. So we would hope that anybody that gets an opportunity that wants to draft with us, we're going to start in 2 minutes on the 7-11 time.
7-11.
Yeah, at 7-11. Let me move some stuff around and get the screen share up so that we can see it. We're going to continue doing the $3, 200,000. And let me get the screen share up. All right. So we should be able to see it now. So we're going to do this $3, this 200,000 play action 3. I guess they've come out with 3 at this point. I didn't realize that.
And don't forget to unlock your mission so you can get some bonus crowns for it. So that's a very important thing. It helps you build some equity, and basically DraftKings is giving you money that you can use to other contests.
Yep. So yeah, it'll be this one here. I'll
60 seconds.
Yeah.
But look at all those Q tags and outs. That's just the top 5. That's what I was talking about, how uncomfortable it is. Jahmyr Gibbs falling to the middle of the second round. Puka is still, at the 1-2 turn. But I've seen, some guys go ahead of him, like running backs and even Marvin. Yeah, it's a whole lot of weird. So
Yeah, some of the guys, the highest guys at the position, have some injuries right now. Sam Laporta is actually our number one tight end on our board, and he's got a Q tag next to his name. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams. Of course, not all of them are going to be as significant. These are Q tags for week one, so we're not even that close yet. I mean, we're close, but we're not that close for injuries to come back, people to come back from
All right.
injury and be okay.
So we got about 10 seconds. Remember, as soon as it turns 7:11, click on that button and get into the draft because we will be loading in very shortly.
I don't want that. All right, ready, set,
Go, go, go.
go. Yeah, I didn't use my crowns. Did
All
not.
right. So we should
2 out
all
of
get
12.
in if
Hell
it's
yeah.
2 out of 12.
Awesome. So
let's-
yeah,
let's
that's cool.
let's just dominate this whole lobby. Let's do that, guys.
Yes, everyone liked the stream. Thank you, Nick. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we should. Yeah, now I mean, with 2 out of 12, as long as it doesn't do that weird thing that happened that one time where it filled up like that, we should be good. We should have enough. One thing I was gonna say was Taylor's not here today. She normally gets in the chat first and early. I'm out of funds. Oh golly, Dustin, come on, man. Deposit funds. And but Taylor's not here today. She's actually drafting. She's doing a 8-person draft, and it's all the girls are drafting, and then the guys are running the teams. And I'm really nervous to see what that turns out to because I know that guys like Travis Kelce are going in the first round right now in drafts like that, and that's just something that's a little crazy. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully she gets in here and we can see, she can send us her team and we can kind of talk about it. But hopefully we can kill this first draft.
Let's
too.
go ahead and refresh the
Got to be close,
the
right?
page.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's there.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like we're in the. That's good.
Maybe
No,
6.
Six.
All
so
right.
That's
Where's
so
everybody
again.
at?
What we were saying is that the first or both ends of the draft are so crazy weird that you kind of got to hope that you have the middle to get a couple more shares of some safer receivers or have some people fall to you.
Right.
Or like we said, we haven't gotten a ton or not as much as we'd like of Bijan or Brees Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect range. Likely going to get one of those two, but also Jamar Chase. I sent him a screenshot this morning of a draft I did, and Jamar Chase fell to the 8th pick. And so I don't care what situation it is. If you're drafting for upside, you don't let him fall out of the top 6 or 7. And like that just never happens to me when I'm
right
at the 8th or 9th pick. So
it looks like Nick got the 3rd overall pick, so he'll have to make a decision at that spot, I think. And CD's right there right now, and I know he has the out tag.
And again, CD's been jumped by Tyreek Hill, so by default, if people are auto drafting, he's gonna look into CD, or if he wants to go with Amon-Ra because he's the only guy not dealing with something.
Yeah, safest guy. He's been.
I know
the
he's a
safest
Vikings fan, but I think he knows to not go with Justin Jefferson at the 3 this year.
Yeah.
So,
but we've been talking about it all this whole off season that Amon-Ra is very safe. You could go Amon-Ra 1 through 5, 2 through 5, and not really feel bad about it if you think that he jumps these guys because he has 14 dome games, and he's going to get a ton of targets. I'm not worried about him. He just doesn't have the same upside as some of the other guys, I don't think. Tyreek Hill obviously has an insane ceiling. Jamar Chase is one of our favorite players this year. CeeDee Lamb was the best wide receiver in football last year. So just upside.
I would love to see once we kind of finish up, we have 2 more live streams on Wednesday night, the rest of the off season, and then we are done with the best ball drafts.
Mm-hmm.
We may put out some content because again, there are some kind of in the season. See Amon-Ra going at the 2. Like that's the weird shit that's happening right now.
I don't, with all the Q tags,
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But it's just
there you go, Nate.
A week ago, we couldn't have even fathomed that. And now it's just like becoming a normal thing in these kinds of drafts. So
CD goes to the 4. Let's go.
Who's that leave?
Jamar.
Oh,
who just went? Bijan.
Bijan.
Okay, so Jamar. We can go Jamar here. We go Brees.
Or Brees. What do you think? We've done a ton of Chase, but I mean, it is nice getting him at the 6 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could just continue with it. Don't worry about the Q tag. He's going to get paid like he should.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just, he's got an interesting situation though, because he has 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
typically
a little
don't see that. And also the kind of bad thing is Cincinnati typically lets players walk and not pays them.
Hmm.
But it's just kind of similar to CD. You know you're going to pay him. You might as well while you can, because say we have a bold prediction video coming out
We
and he
do
is involved. He is the thumbnail.
twice.
So if he comes close to the optimistic views that we have on him, he is going to be worth more than what he's asking. So you might as well just kind of get in right now.
Yeah.
In our eyes, that's kind of how
I
we view it.
saw, I think Adam Schefter broke it down, but he's making like 4.8 million this year.
Yep.
Which is basically nothing for his ability and position.
Basically, guys like Jamarcus Russell are the reason that the rookie pay scale is as bad as it is, because if you remember, those are the times back in those days, rookie quarterbacks without playing a snap would be some of the top 6, 7 highest paid at their position.
Right.
And now, because there were so many busts like that, it's become like you just have like a specific wage that you are. There are no negotiations, and you're going to get that what you deserve, and then you'll probably get extended or fifth year optioned or declined or what
Right,
have
for
you,
sure.
depending on how those rules work. So, it's kind of a tricky thing, but like I said, you don't really come across too many Jamar Chases, and receivers are becoming more and more of an importance to get through seasons. We haven't really seen elite receivers kind of, other than like a Cooper Cup recently, just completely take over and be the MVP of a team on the way to a championship
Right.
caliber situation.
Wow.
But yeah, I just don't see the need to not, or to I guess let it linger.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a weird draft because we're going to need a running back, but there are no more. That's not the one I wanted either. So, because we don't have a running back, let's go to players. Come on.
Okay.
Well, HN, I guess, would be one. Devo, Drake London.
If we're talking upside, or I mean, again, we're going to be looking at a second running back soon, so I don't mind HN.
Yeah.
But also, Nico and Debo as well are options. What do you think?
Let's go here because I haven't gotten very
Debo.
much Debo.
Okay.
And I think this would be a cool build with Debo.
Gotcha. Well, since we're kind of right in the middle, hopefully we can kind of inherit one of two names that I would ideally like as a running back, and if not, we'll just start 3 receivers and just have a really strong, deep running back room, because as these are getting pushed up, I don't really consider this they're a dead zone this year.
Right, for sure.
I just think there's areas to target certain positions, but before, especially 2 straight years, like the 5th and 6th round, you didn't want to target those kinds of running backs, and very rarely were those working out. Now it's kind of like there's running backs that we like are either still in the 5th or in the 4th, or really 6 is the only one where we're not really getting running backs, but that's just because since we can start to 4 receivers, PPR caters more to receivers. We kind of try to lock that up, especially because we take a quarterback or tight end with a 4th or 5th round pick.
Round, yeah, exactly. Griffin said Steiger is in here, making fun of him. Great, I love that. And then I don't know that happened. Do you know if Drake London got 6 targets at it from Kirk in that first in one of the preseason games? I'm not even sure. We do all the recaps, so I don't think so.
Kirk, I don't even think has played. Yeah, I don't think he's played at all. And I know that they've already kind of shut down Michael Penix for this preseason, which you don't really see happening when you know that they're a backup. All right, real quick.
No, yeah, Travis Etienne went. I know that's who you were thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this guy here, Devontae.
So my idea was either that or getting Kelsey and crossing fingers for Mahomes.
Okay.
Because he's going mid 4th, but it's up to you if whatever way you want to go.
I haven't got very much Kelsey. We can do that.
Okay.
Not against it.
Now the only kind of concern is that Rashee Rice has jumped up so much that I could see somebody at the 3-4 turn going like the 3-10 guy saying boom Mahomes, and then right on the turnaround go Rashee Rice. But we've consistently seen Mahomes going in the mid 4th.
Right.
So I have a ton of Mahomes actually on DraftKings. The problem is I haven't gotten much with Kelsey because all summer he's pretty much been at the 2-3 turn.
Yes.
Now he's kind of fallen into the middle of the 3rd, but it's kind of right as Mahomes is jumping up into the edge of the fourth or early or late third.
It just seems like the tight ends are starting to kind of squish together like we expected them to, and where they should kind of be is, all the tight ends, all 5 of the top 5 tight ends should be kind of within 12 picks of each other. And we're slowly getting there, I think. I don't know that it'll actually get there by the end of this whole thing, but that's kind of where it's trending towards.
Yeah, and that was something that Em and I called out. As much as we like Laporta and Kelsey and that they're the 1-2, they were both going at the 2-3 turn,
Mhm.
and we don't see a big gap between them, Andrews, Kincaid, McBride, who you could all get at the end of the fourth or even into the fifth.
Right.
And so we were just like, I'd rather just go receiver and figure it out, because it's not like the old days where it's just Gronk and Kelsey and
Right.
nobody else.
Rasheed,
It's deeper.
yeah, I was gonna say Rasheed did go at the 12 pick, but
Mhm.
they didn't go Mahomes. Griffin asked Emery, does it scare you a bit choosing Chase with the holdout? He will play week 1, right? I have drafted, so this is how I kind of look at it. I'm not worried about drafting Jamar Chase because he's such a good football player. This is best ball. I'm looking for upside. I've drafted, I don't know, 60 lineups. So even if Jamar Chase doesn't play week 1, that would suck, but it is what it is. I'm trying to get the best team if everybody's on the field with the most upside so I can win a bunch of money. And you don't win money by being scared that Jamar Chase doesn't play week 1.
Yeah,
It's kind
I
of how I
mean,
look at it.
typically you don't see there's a stack right there.
Yeah. Right.
And Josh Allen actually went with the James Cook stack instead of a Kincaid, which was interesting. Here, I actually want to see this clap before I even put my point down.
I'm not going to move.
Yeah.
I wonder what this guy is doing. He is not picking the right player.
So
Oh.
he went Pittman.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's do it.
That's
Good
beautiful.
Start. So yeah, what I was saying about Chase is typically people are celebrate buying the dip on minor injuries, but injuries could linger. So it's not like there's there's not any risk.
Right.
Even if we don't think Puka Nakua and Cup should be that close, there's still, reactivated injury. Last year, Cooper Cup had a hammy, re-aggravated, he was out on IR. So those happen. If you are on a holdout and your price is dipping, I don't really see the risk there other than maybe not starting week 1. But typically when holdouts go into the season, a famous one is Emmitt Smith holding out the first 2 games, and then he is the Super Bowl MVP
That was fast.
that season.
We are back up because they just
Look
went
at those quarterbacks
quick.
go.
Oh.
And Kyle Pitts
So
over Kincaid.
All right. We're here. This guy's interesting.
So Kenneth Walker's the only running back I'd want here.
And then who else?
Either that
or Amari?
Well, I was thinking,
or George? I mean, I don't care either way. We got. I have it.
Let's go with Kenneth Walker because he's somebody that we're really shocked, like shooting up our rankings,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we haven't had a ton of. So he's
Super
not
exciting.
somebody I'm afraid of reaching a little bit on, especially in this draft where you're seeing Jacobs and Cook go earlier than ADP. Rashad White went a little bit early. So this is kind of where he's trending towards. I don't mind being a little early on him,
So
especially when we got the stack that we just did.
I was going to say, too, look at Nick's team here. He goes Nico, Tank. Fine going Tank when you get CJ Stroud to double
That
stack.
was a beautiful start. And he's got the double with Miami. So that's a great start, Nick.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We love that. Let's see. What do we want?
And just as a reminder, if you're trying to correlate a little bit, week 17 matchups, you got, or I'll even go through the whole playoffs. So Houston, again, Miami, week 15. So that is just juicy if you make it to the first round of the playoffs. Then they got Kansas City and Baltimore.
Right.
And then with Miami, let's bring up their playoff schedule just so you can kind of get a little bit of some correlation late in the season.
Miami is Houston.
It is Houston, San Fran, and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Or is that
they actually have the highest total points scored between all of the teams per game. So they get an average of 54 points per game based on last year's scoring. So that is the highest out of any last 3 game stretch. I know that that's obviously inflated because Miami's the team that we're talking about, but that's a lot of points basically. What are you thinking? What happened?
Well, I was hoping Mark Andrews fell to the 6th round. kind of mainly because Kyle Pitts went basically swapped with his spots with him. So I was just like, ooh, 2 teams already have a tight end. Maybe we get some luck. But also we went Kelsey, so moot point.
Yeah, we would have
Moot
left
point.
that one for Nick if
Yeah,
that could have happened.
absolutely.
Oh, dang. I was thinking that guy might be there.
That would have been cool. But again, he's fallen or not falling, but he's risen up to the late 5th, early 6th. So, but that would have been cool to have a double there. Maybe we kind of buy the dip on Marquise Brown a little bit
Yeah.
as a wide receiver 4.
He's not that far different in our rankings. They're still in the same tier. Like, it's just, we just don't know when to play. All right, let's go check it out.
All right. Keenan's dropping.
Wow. Okay.
Have no shares of Connor, but we uncomfortably have him as a top 20 running back. We do need running backs. I don't know. But we do like Keenan, and we like Kittle. Oh, my God. We have a tight end. Shut up. Sorry.
I do like Keenan here.
Okay.
Just so we
let's
can
do Keenan Allen then.
kind of wait
that
on
could
wide
possibly
receiver
be
for a while.
a secondary stack. We'll see what I think Rome is still on the board. He's another riser because he had a deep. Oh, he went right after. Okay. So
that's pretty far. That's pretty high for him.
Yeah, he was at the end of the 7th, early 8th last week, and then he caught a couple passes in each preseason game. But the problem is similar to Tank Dell. It's just Nick, right now he's playing the 60% of the snaps.
Good job, Nick.
So
yeah,
let's go.
Good job, Nick. Loving it. Let's see. Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers stack.
So basically, most teams have correlated their like the only one that didn't was Anthony Richardson, but he's probably one of the few exceptions you could do as a elite quarterback because I don't see him throwing 30 times a game this year. I see him completing maybe 15 to 18 passes and running 12 times.
Kyler and McBride. Okay. That's early for Kyler. That's pretty.
He's rising. His ADP is actually up to 70. So technically that was a little bit of a
interesting
small value based on where he's going.
Deontay James. That seems high. Where's he at?
He's 84.
Okay.
I mean, he's just running good routes and he's being a highlight reel.
Yeah, he had one option on the team. One route. I saw
fourth.
Fourth. Yeah, fourth option. Yep. Unless you count
option
both
in the red zone.
Running backs, right? Yeah. See what Nick does here with 4 seconds. Come on, Nick.
I mean, he has so many options because he's just killing it so far.
Jaden Reed.
Fine.
Perfectly fine. Stevenson. All right. We're coming up. Let's go
Caleb
see.
goes to the Rome team. He's rising up as well for good reason.
I feel more comfortable with later running backs.
I hate those 2 running backs.
Joe Burrow.
I think we can wait. So probably have to knock out another receiver here, right?
Christian
Watson's still there.
Because I'm more comfortable Christian Watson.
Over Keon.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfectly fine with that. He's slightly above him in our rankings. And then JSN is still there as well. He's risen up a little bit finally. But we've gotten so much of him that it's just like, don't want to keep on forcing things when it's just like, okay, we had enough of you as a wide receiver 5.
Yeah, when he was in the mid 90s. Yeah.
But if he falls in the 8th, you know what we're kind of looking towards. There's the team right after us went 3 straight running backs. So that was interesting.
And they already had one. Because that's the team that got Brees.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for being weird and having some robust strategies, but
that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
That's not it.
But you see there's on the backside of the draft, there's 4 teams now that still don't have a quarterback yet. Basically all the quarterbacks are going early.
Yeah, so who has the T. Higgins?
We'll see who's doing the Dak and the Jordan Love and even Jaden Daniels, who's on Underdog, he's actually jumped above Dak, which is pretty crazy to us, but that's just it's not a real life football. It's fantasy football. Rushing upside matters, and he has a ton of it.
Right. Zamir White, we've been dropping down our rankings. Don't like that he's playing in the second half, things like that. Plus, he's not going to give you anything in the receiving game. So with the risk of him possibly just being a committee, it's not comfortable enough for us to keep him where we had him prior.
Najee's the other thing that we forgot to mention, one of the true injury issues that took place was Jalen Warren suffered a multi-week hamstring injury. His status is down in week 1. I put out a tweet that, even though we were on the Najee side because we think it caters more towards what Arthur Smith wants to do, that doesn't mean we're completely right. And so if you took the stand that Jalen Warren is the guy in that backfield, that shouldn't deter you or just make him plummet down your rankings because he suffered an injury that may keep him out 1 week.
Right. That should actually make you really happy when he's plummeting
Yeah,
down
that should
everybody
mean
else's
buy the
rankings.
dip
Yeah.
because now he's kind of back where he was to start the year, which was late 90s, early 100s.
I'm trying to think about what running backs are up, and I know what running backs are, but they're still.
No, I have a good idea.
Yeah.
Of what to do.
Dang it.
That's fine. I'd rather go with the running back here, especially because us and Nick are going to be fighting for a couple guys over the next couple rounds.
This guy here.
Yeah.
I think I know what running back I want, so we'll see if we're on the same page.
I don't know if it's going to surprise. No, we're on the same page. Okay. Absolutely on the same page. He is one of our highest risers this week just because we're just seeing great things.
This guy.
Yep, Javonte Williams.
Guys. And we already talked about him earlier in the year too, but like we didn't ever believe the fact that he was going to be cut. We didn't believe the Jaleel McLaughlin things. Now we can kind of see what's happening with Jaleel, but it's just he's still the number one in that offense.
So, and then here's the premise behind it, because again, this is PPR league, so that kind of stuff matters. Essentially, with Javonte, in a Sean Payton offense since 2013, there's not been a time that his offense has been lower than 5th in terms of running back targets.
Right.
In multiple years, including the last 2 combined, he's been number 1 in the NFL at running back targets. Problem is, he has a receiving back to compete with, but because there are so many targets to go around, there's not really an established wide receiver 2, 3, 4, or even tight end. This offense is going to be better than you think.
Yes.
And a lot of it's going to be coming through the running back. So I think both of them can outperform their ADP right now. Jaleel is somebody that we were fading early and we just didn't get it. Kind of starting to come around a little bit. But again, I'm fine with taking him if you're going also Javonte. But I think Javonte is the top 20 running back this season. And he's just outside that in our rankings. But he's a fast riser right now.
Yeah. And the whole thing with Jaleel too is like, you said he's a receiving back. Well, I don't know that he is a receiving back. Like, it's just like that might be his role, but I don't know that that's what he is. I think that, Javonte is a good receiving back also coming out of college. So
wow. This worked out for Nick. Wait. Where did
who are you looking for?
Jordan Love go? Did he go?
No.
Oh, Nick, you missed out, man.
That's okay.
I know you needed a running back, but you just went Dobbs and Daniels. I'm sorry, Reed.
Well, we can go Love.
I mean, we can.
Because we have Christian Watson.
That's fine. Unless you want to go another running back. What do you think?
What do you think between Brian?
I would say Brian Robinson if you're going running back, but if you just want to knock out our quarterbacks, I honestly think we can wait on quarterback.
Because we have Mahomes?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm almost flirting with the idea that he should be QB1.
Well,
that's
I ran out of
much.
time, so we're going to.
It's fine.
Either one was fine. I just didn't, I mean, it's a big dip. Like you won't see a team like this too. It's like, that's cool. So
yeah, I forgot about your first 2 picks going Miami. So that was good. So with that being said, that's kind of interesting that you did go Dobbs there then. One, because it wasn't a guarantee that Chase Brown was going to fall to you at 9, which that worked out. But
right. On the other way around, yeah.
Either way, not terrible.
Zach Moss is still ranked above Chase Brown. I know we're this
draft. In DraftKings and Underdog, he's no longer, but in all redraft formats, he is still.
Yeah.
And the gap is actually widening. And it's just like, what are y'all seeing that we're not? There's been no positive. And I'm not saying that there's negative stuff coming out about Zach Moss, but he's just kind of been there.
Right.
And Chase Brown is just all with the ones. He looked productive in the limited time he had. He played all the snaps with the ones, including 3rd and 17. Chris Evans, who was a special teams guy, who is also capable of being a scat back, out for the year now with a knee injury. I think he tore his patellar tendon. Um, there's just no competition as a scat back for him. And then in terms of if he's the 1A, he's a smash. So
This guy got very lucky to get Njoku at 108. I was
yeah,
going
the
to say that.
912, that's pretty late.
Brock went one pick before us. I mean, we weren't. I don't think
We
we were
probably wouldn't
really
have gone
looking
there.
there, but I mean, tight end. We're going to lock up our tight ends, of course. We have a very good tandem of tight end
Austin
quarterback.
Eckler goes before Brian Robinson. If this is 2021, I agree. 2022, but we just don't think that. I don't know. I just don't think that there's any.
I think Brian Robinson
thing
still
that he
gets 4
offers.
targets
Yeah,
a game.
like
which
I
is-
understand the premise because he's a scat back, he's a receiving back, but I don't see him just getting more goal line touches than Brian Robinson. Brian
Tajay
Robinson
Spears.
right now is the better overall running back as a talent.
Right.
So and
then Tajay Spears.
yeah,
Brian
I knew
Robinson
he wasn't
goes
going to fall to
finally.
us because there were so many teams that had 2 running backs.
Right. But still, it's like, why is he going behind those other guys?
I don't know.
Let's go see. Let's go see. Jonathan Brooks.
I think for the upside, we kind of.
But Jerome Ford
that's
makes
an
more
idea.
sense for Jonathan Brooks.
Well, and then also having the.
Because we only have 2 running backs.
I mean, at this point, the way we built is it's going to have to be an 8 running back. Team.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for guys with upside, and late in the year, he has a soft schedule. He's going to have to bite the bullet on some weeks, but maybe we'll even see somebody like a Zeke or Rico Dowdle fall to us in the 10th round.
Okay. So you want to go this way.
I would prefer Jonathan Brooks for the upside.
Okay. That's fine.
And if you go
With
forward, that's fine. In redraft, actually, I would still probably go Jonathan Brooks in redraft because you can put him in the IR spot. And that opens up an extra spot that you can spend on somebody that we are getting a ton of as late round picks that probably would go and draft in a regular draft, like, Kamani Vidal, sorry. Or somebody like Khalil Herbert, which he's really pumping up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke goes pretty early.
10, 11.
He's actually been passed up in ADP by Rico Dowdle. And that's just kind of something that I just have the vibe of. I understand the reason behind people's thinking on that. But I feel like if this running back room is going to have success this year, it's going to be more so because of Zeke. And if it is a failure and it's not working, I feel like they're more likely to pick somebody else up to try to make it work than for them to say, okay, Rico, take us there and you're going to get all the touches and then he's going to be a top 15 running back this year. Because that is honestly a floor in this caliber of an offense is being a top 15 running back. We've seen that multiple years in a row now. I mean, and even if 15 is too high, move it back to being RB2 range. And that's kind of what you're looking for is running backs in high potent offenses. They're one of the highest projected offenses to score. They really only have Zeke and that's it. Or I guess Jake Ferguson as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very important role in terms of fantasy. And I just don't view Rico as being a guy that they're just going to be like, okay, I can, we're going to ride him and he's going to be our guy this year.
Surprised on, well, there's Rico.
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to do that. What are you thinking for this pick? Because we do not need another tight end. We're not there, I don't think. I think running back is fine.
Yeah, as much as I just talked down on him, he's the best available guy.
There's just not.
And again, we have Chubb slightly above him in our rankings, but we can't go Chubb and Brooks.
Right.
If we're gonna go Brooks, we have to go another guy that's gonna play right now. We can't just double up in a weaker running back room on guys that are not going to play early in the season. That's not going to be beneficial.
Okay. Let's see. Matt Stafford goes. There's a lot of running backs in this range right here that we've actually seen this, of course. It's a really low wide receiver range, really high running back, quarterback range. I was going to say earlier, Nick,
you're knocking it out of the park right now.
Yeah, he's killing it.
The only pick that I have any kind of questions about is Romeo Doubs, and it's only just because it's like you didn't want to do the double, but doing it to a double with Tyreek Hill is fantastic as well. that was the route you were going, I probably would have went somewhere else since you won another Green Bay receiver. But
Jordan Addison was
you're
there.
absolutely crushing it right now.
Cortland Sutton. I think truly I wanted all three of these receivers before Romeo Doubs. And that's, I guess, what
And
is
Romeo's
what we're saying.
not even in our top 60. And that's against the grain based on what everybody else has him. He's just barely in our top 150, and he's going, in the 110s in drafts right now, especially in this style of draft.
And you could have also, just for reference, like Jordan Addison, he's going to have that, suspension, but he's still the second best receiver on that team. I don't think that Sam Darnold's bad. I know that with that being said, you are a Vikings fan, but I like Sam Darnold. I think that he is going to be solid for y'all. So I think you could have gone Jordan Addison there and been okay. Justin Herbert. I wonder. So Nick has 2 doubles, right?
Yeah, 2 double stacks, man. I think he's the only one with the double other than...
We have 2 singles.
Yeah. I don't think I came across a team, unless they just did it, doing a double stack. Look at Michael Wilson, how high he's going now. I just noticed that. He's a guy that we were getting tons of. Let me pull up my exposure, because he is one of my 5 highest owned.
He was in the 170s earlier in the year. That's like, he made a huge jump.
Yeah. Like, we were getting him at the 16th through 18th round all summer long. And now he is in the 11th. He is my second highest exposed wide receiver. In terms of like invested in and percentage drafted, I got him at 30% right now, which is pretty incredible.
Wanted Jerry. Okay.
All right. So if we're talking probably receiver or tight end here is my idea. Jahan Dotson, I know there's some negative reports, but it's a role that is going to be positive, so I'm fine going him.
Yeah, I think he's my favorite in this group. Could have gone TJ.
Yeah, I'm not swaying off of him, because he, even after the comments that Dan Quinn made, he still ran all with the ones.
Yeah, he's still the guy.
Yeah, he was still the guy. It was the only thing is just the comment of, we're still looking for a wide receiver too, and now he fell around. But if we're taking him as, what is that, a wide receiver 6 or 5?
5.
5. So little more uncomfortable, but
we have 4 running backs, so it makes me feel better. And we started 2 receivers, so that's good. Right. Chicago. Let's see. Okay, because we need a tight end.
I was thinking that Freiermuth or Hawk would likely still fall, but we'll just kind of see. Nick finally got his Viking going, Ty Chandler.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I'm really worried about Freiermuth, so
what makes you worried if Ayuk does not go there? What makes you worried about Freiermuth?
The snap counts. They've been terrible with the ones. Darnell Washington outsnapped him this last game. Of course, he's the one. Like, Freiermuth is the guy that's running the routes, but he got outsnapped by Darnell. And then who is it? The other guy that's there. All played with the ones also in the 12 personnel.
Well,
stuff,
I mean, if we're being honest, like, believe it or not, and it sounds unbelievable saying this because of how frustrating he's been, but Atlanta was the number 1 team last year in target share to tight ends.
Right.
And the problem is that a lot of that went to Jonnu and not to Kyle Pitts. Well, when you're drafting somebody as a tight end 7, you don't want to have somebody sharing. But if you're going as tight end 16, there's way less of a risk to it. Plus, he's our backup. Plus, Van Jefferson is the wide receiver too.
You also you're comparing him to Kyle Pitts though, and Kyle Pitts has upside that Freiermuth doesn't have.
But he's going 7 rounds.
Yeah,
later.
but like, I just mean between the two of them, like, if I'm gonna take more risk, of course. With
what I'm saying is he would have the equivalent of a stat line to what Kyle Pitts would have. And Kyle Pitts last year, what was he?
Freiermuth isn't there. Do you want to go Taysom Hill? Or do you want to go Hawk?
I'd rather go Hawk.
Okay.
I said this off air. I understand he's out. I can't take a 34-year-old Taysom Hill over TJ Hawkinson.
No, yeah, I get it. It's more so that we have Kelsey, and I feel like if you can just get like those boom weeks out of Taysom Hill, because we do have early.
But we also just did
tight
make a
end.
mistake on my part. So
Same
we
week.
are going to have to take a third tight end because of the same buy.
Yeah,
But again, there's
I
guys
was.
later in the drafts that I like a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to take a third tight end anyways, just because
Okay.
we got Hawk, who is out
Mhm.
for now. So
If they were
um,
different buys, I still wouldn't have been opposed to just staying with the two
riding
tight
with
end
it.
build. But Isaiah Likely is still going in the 16th round, and
Yeah,
he is resting with the ones. He's doing
he's
everything
yeah. They're going to
that you
run a
want him
lot of
to.
two tight ends in Baltimore this year.
Yep, they
Um,
have to. They lost 3 starting offensive linemen. They have the 25th ranked offensive line, and everybody's talking about how much of an improvement Derrick Henry's walking into.
well, compared to the Titans, I guess. Is
I
that what
guess.
is that what they're saying? Because the Titans had like the 30th ranked offensive line last year,
I guess
something
so.
like that. I mean, they were
But
bad
they
last
also
year, but
had, a coach that catered more so to
right.
running back touches, which obviously Baltimore does too. But he's declined for 2 straight seasons. He's about to be 30, and
Two,
he's
4, 2,
going
5.
at the 1-2 turn in redraft leagues.
Yeah,
So
he's 13.
let's put it this way: we're in an auction draft with our
Taylor.
buddies, and typically in auction drafts at the start, you nominate guys you don't want. He, spoiler alert, is my first nomination unless somebody nominates him before me.
Taylor just said, "Don't hate me."
Oh no! I hope you didn't take Derrick Henry.
You did not. Did we just say that and you took him? I know. I took him off of your. No, couldn't have taken him. I made sure. That was the one guy I said not to take. There's no way. Send your line in here. We'll critique it as we go. Nick goes Jalen
You said
Polk.
this was a ESPN draft that she was
Yeah,
doing?
ESPN,
Okay.
and it's an 8-person, so
Yeah.
she gets basically
Even if her
anybody.
team isn't great, like you could
Yeah,
make it work.
we'll swing it. It's fine. Luckily, I do this somewhat for a living.
Yeah.
That's
the goal,
so we
right?
should hopefully be able to figure it out. Yeah, Taylor, you're fired if you didn't do well because that means you're not paying attention to these live streams at all. You're just turning them on and not listening. Will Levis, a lot of quarterbacks. Will Levis was in the 18th round at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, that was the guy that when he, he's been impressing in practice and stuff. And after the Sam Darnold, officially he's going to start the entire season pending health. We were just kind of seeing where to put him.
Well,
all right, real quick, Isaiah Likely's there. Hill's still there if you want him.
For the booms,
or if you want to run back, I would say Ray Davis is probably the guy.
I don't think we're going to be able to get Likely if we don't. So it's either him or Hill to me, but I'm more comfortable. I mean, I like both. Boom weeks, Taysom Hill, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can shoot random games, right? Look at these numbers that he gets in random weeks.
27,
22.
But Likely again was a top 5 tight end in the final 7 weeks of the season without Mark Andrews. So he has upside too.
Yes.
Especially if Andrews is out.
Yeah, I'm hoping he has upside with Andrews this year because that's what it seems like might happen based on how they're trying to cheat him.
Two other guys that we've been getting a ton of in terms of best ball. Braylon Allen, he was a guy very early when we started doing these live streams. 307. And now he is going, what was that?
164.
164 in the 14th round.
Yeah.
And he's going to go higher than that. And then also Khalil Herbert, the other guy that we're taking a ton. I know.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're
I'm recapping like guys that we've been taking a ton of late that are really rising. Good calls by us very early on. If you've been, bless you, God bless.
Sorry. You okay?
Reed is officially up.
Yeah.
And Adam.
He was sneezing. You okay, bud? Yeah. Yeah. Khalil Herbert. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He just went at 168. He was in the 200 range. So, I mean, we had a bunch of him. Kamani just went. So stop flicking me. Jalen Wright's still there. What do you want to do? I guess we should go running back.
Let's see.
The only running back is Jalen.
Jalen Wright.
Which is fine.
Well, it's not wrong.
But
well, yeah, I guess Lloyd would have been okay if we had a Jacobs play. Tyron Tracy was the other guy I was thinking of because he
Yeah, that's true.
basically lost his life and then practiced the next day.
He's gonna get the number 2 reps. I'm actually more comfortable with him. Actually, now that I think about it, over
Well, then we can
right.
go. Let's go Tracy then.
Okay.
And then also hint, Nick. Oh, we already passed you. Never mind. I was gonna say that would be a good guy to target. Since you did go HN.
Taylor, you're making me worry. You need to you need to let me know what you did. I told her she got the first overall pick, so we had talked about who to go first overall. But other than that, I don't
Nick
know
was
what
the
you
guy
did.
that went Kamani. Okay. If anybody's gonna take Kamani from us, I'm glad it was you, Nick.
Did he also go any other? No, he didn't get any of the other Charger running backs. No stacking there.
Who was his tight end again?
Taysom and George. Oh yeah, he got the George to fall to him.
Yeah. From your opinion, does that make you comfortable to stay as a 2 tight end build, or would you recommend 3 for him?
The reason I would say 3 is because both of his tight ends are boomers.
Okay.
Like, because if you look, we just showed Taysom. If you go up to George, like, he is boomer bust also.
I
2,
keep
4,
hearing guys
5, you know.
I keep hearing
4.
guys say how consistent he is. And that's not the right word.
Is it year to year consistency or like
I don't know.
Like, what do they mean?
I mean, pull up his game logs from the
Right.
other years
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about it. But if you're just going off of last year, he had plenty of boom, but he had just as many games where he gave you less than 7.
Mhm.
And you had to start him because you weren't going to start him over or start, pick your
Right.
tier 3 tight end over him.
He's a lot tougher in redraft.
He's tough. Yeah, he's tougher in redraft. In best ball, completely fine because if you had a strong 2 tight end build and you went with a Dallas Goedert or Dalton Schultz or Brock Bowers, hopefully those weeks he had 7, these other guys had 11, 12, or maybe they're boom weeks. But with redraft, you don't know when those are coming. And so I think people just worry or they focus too much on what their overall total was.
Right.
Like last year, and it's funny, everybody talks about how Brees Hall comes off the ACL, he's RB2, right? Everybody's including week 18. Every league that I know of finishes in week 17. Week 18 is when he had 40 points and 11 targets and 170 plus all-purpose yards, right? And so without that, just without that game, he's not a top 5 running back. And then before that,
I'm sorry. I just looked at Taylor's team and I'm very excited. It makes me very excited. Holy crap, Taylor. Good job. That's wow. Just wow.
I didn't think that she would disappoint because of the fact that it's a 18 league.
But
yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. Good job, Taylor. Okay. All right. That's cool.
Okay. So, we probably still need running back.
Lloyd's still here. Damian Pierce. We will probably be getting 205's Roshan.
Yeah. Okay. So my thought is running back or Justin Fields.
Ooh.
Here. But I don't know if we wanted 3 tight ends and 3 quarterbacks.
I think,
especially because we have Mahomes.
Unfortunately, the upside is.
Oh, no. We took Jordan Love, right? Yeah, we don't need as much as we like Fields.
Hey, look at this. Look at that double stack with Green Bay we just got. Good job, Cam. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Accidental double stacks are my favorite.
Go us.
Now, the problem is we still only have 5 receivers, though.
Yeah.
And we were going to run out very, very fast. The problem was there was just nobody that I liked there. So maybe if Nick doesn't snipe one of the guys that I was thinking of.
Not that guy. You can have him, Nick. Sorry, buddy. No, I know.
He took that pretty fast. He might be auto drafting.
I know the guy that I want, and I think he's the same guy you want.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get him unless Nick takes him. That's my.
You want to take him on this one?
Yes, we have to.
Okay. He's at 202 now?
Basically, the way that drafts are going now is receiver. You better be done by 18 because you're gonna be just uncomfortable, and it's just kind of rough. And it's rough for everybody because all the guys that we were targeting, like we've said before, in the 18, 19, 20th rounds, everybody essentially except for Roshan and Audric Estime are going much, much higher.
Right.
And then, but with those guys, I don't still mind going them just because of predicting or telling stories of how they could have upside. And then especially because we went Javonte Williams, and if he goes down, Jaleel McLaughlin's not getting 25 touches.
No,
It's going to be, probably all the passing game work to him, but all the goal line work to Audric Estime.
Yeah. Looking at some of the guys. Let's go check out the board because I think
Yeah, we're gonna have to maybe start some guys.
Who's the guy? He's
McMillan is
slower
still
than I
there.
thought. He's right here.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he is so low, but I still just don't want to risk missing out because we only have 5 receivers.
Yeah.
We have to take basically 3
Or-
straight.
Or
Or actually,
that
we're gonna
guy
have to
too.
take only 2. No, yeah, I call out McMillan too.
Yeah.
So if you wanted him over Iosivas, I'm fine with that.
We might be able to get both.
But we had to go at least one of them here.
Well, I think if we go McMillan here and Iosivas goes, we can still get Rojo, and then we can get a late flyer.
How about one name to think about? How about let's draft a guy and then we'll look him up.
To this guy that where Iosivas.
No. Let's just go ahead and click on Jalen.
Okay.
But another guy that I wanted to talk about was Darius Slayton.
Yep.
Because and again, I don't know where he's going. That was somebody that I forgot to look up. But he's still there. So basically we've taken a decent amount of flyers on Jalen Hyatt just because of the occasional 3 for 70 game we could hopefully see from him.
Yeah.
But 1, the quarterback play has been so bad, and 2, he's kind of getting demoted, and he's just stuck behind the 3 receiver sets that are going to be Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, and Wan'Dale Robinson.
Exactly.
And back-to-back 700-yard seasons for Slayton. If he's going to just be getting all the snaps, we might as well get some more shares of him. So that was a guy that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, I added him to our queue. We have 2 picks left and 3 picks left. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're golden. There go
Estimate
all
goes.
the running backs,
Mm-hmm.
Except for the one that matters. I don't really understand how guys like Madison, Bigsby, Mason. I can understand these 2, but like still going over Rojo.
Well, it's just because Rojo has 2 running backs to compete with, and Jordan Mason by default is the RB2 for now.
Yeah, but
he's like 2A, I guess.
Elijah Mitchell
Bigsby
goes
is the
him.
true handcuff.
2.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that was stupid.
I mean, that's not, like it's a whole round difference between these 2. Like,
but,
I don't know. It's a little weird.
Eli's been falling though, so I guess that was just a rant because that guy also took Matt Collins in the 17th. So I'm pretty sure that guy's just kind of doing some weird.
Gardner in the 15th. Okay. I see what's happening here. Okay.
We got to think.
Okay, got it.
Michael Mayer. See, yeah, we can officially take his opinion out of it.
Cool. Hey, settle down.
I'm not.
Get off my lawn.
I want him.
I know you do.
How about we take him? That was who I wanted.
You can't have
2022.
Him. We'll take CD. We'll take CD. Give the switch back between Amari Cooper. Send us back some love, Russ.
You don't deserve love.
Oh, wow. We have him on our team.
That went to a dark place.
We have him on our team, so it's all good.
Gotcha. Okay, so hopefully
Daniel Jones.
Now, if this guy was smart, the guy before us who went Jermaine Burton, he should also go Iosivas just so he could get whoever the wide receiver 3 is on that team. But I doubt he's a smart cookie.
He's going to make us wait for
it. But either way, we get one of the 2 receivers that we start. So that's good. It makes me feel okay. So he took the other guy.
Well, that's fine.
So
he can have the other guy.
Sweet.
We'll just take this guy. All right. So that's 2 picks left.
Mm-hmm.
We now have 7 receivers. Which
if only we went Joe Burrow, we had a accidental double stack too.
Mm-hmm. We actually had an opportunity. He was.
It just was too early.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he was like right here. Yeah. I think he fell.
7.
I think he fell because 90's low for him. Oh man.
All right.
Roman Wilson, Jordan Whittington, one of the biggest talks of preseason, has the most yards, targets, and receptions right now for all receivers. And the only quarterback throwing him the ball is Stetson Bennett.
He's another guy that, if you're taking DeMarcus Robinson, which you couldn't in this draft because guy took him 3 rounds early.
Yeah.
But if you're going to Marcus Robinson, taking Whittington as well, and just having the wide receiver 3 no matter what in that offense is pretty nice.
Yeah, and you get the upside because think about it in a way of Matthew Stafford doesn't run, so everything that he does is going to come through the air. So that's an uptick, I guess,
And
in receiver
Higbee could be
ability.
out for the season, so they only
Right.
have Colby Parkinson, who's been just fantasy irrelevant
And,
essentially his whole career.
and Jordan Whittington's a good blocker.
Yeah,
Like that's
he
always
was always a
something.
great blocker
Yeah.
at Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, their starting tight end right now, which is Colby Parkinson, has never had more than 322 receiving yards. So
That's really good.
yeah.
Wow, but back to back New Orleans. Nick took Rojo, which is good.
Okay. Again, if somebody was going to take him, I'm glad you did.
Glad we're talking about him.
Yep.
All right, Nick, what are you gonna do? We didn't talk about anybody past this point, I don't think yet. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's slim pickings at this point in the last 2 rounds of these kinds of drafts.
Yeah, that's his third tight end
Yeah.
that he had to kind of get.
He had to take somebody, and I don't know who was Gesicki still there?
No,
Dolchich.
it's not.
I'd probably prefer Dolchich over Juwan, right?
Yeah, it's tough down there.
It's tough.
Zach Ertz is an option over Juwan too, which is scary. What do you want to do?
I don't know what I want to do.
I like Malachi Corley. I like Tim Patrick.
We did go Marshawn Lloyd. So
Get this guy.
Pairing them together, not against that. After that, there's really no other running back I'd want. So
okay, so we'll finish this one with running back and then go receiver on the next one.
So. And again, I don't know what receiver would be available
on the clock. Leave me alone. What receiver would be available? We're gonna have to make some narratives. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like
let's paint a picture, man.
Mr. Gray, nice to see you. I'm glad we. Oh, you took. Oh no. Sorry, we took Tyron Tracy. I thought he stacked him, but he was one before.
Yeah, we sniped.
Actually, it was one after.
He took well, Justice. He's just stupid.
Wow.
Taking Justice Hill in the 15th round.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. We did. I mean, Tracy was an early pick, but he made the most sense. Yeah. And
I'm not going to say a single bad thing about. We'll lose a viewer, so
a viewer that's part of the show.
Yeah.
My favorite.
All right, so I guess Corley by default would be the guy. Basically, Franklin and Javon are having bad camps, so they're both falling. Or I mean, actually, Javon Baker is not having a bad camp, but he's falling out of favor on the depth chart.
Yeah.
So he just has no opportunity right now. He is the 4th receiver, and that doesn't include Kendrick Bourne, who will be projected to start once he returns from the PUP.
Right. Chase Claypool? No. Justin Ross, Kevontae Turpin. What's up with him? Because he didn't play, right? This last week. If I remember correctly. There is a lot of bad down here.
Well, he doesn't have
actually, I don't hate this guy.
Josh Naylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably somebody that Nick was targeting.
Well, he's after us. It's also Jalen Naylor, I think. Yeah, Jalen Naylor. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Who's Josh Naylor? Why do I know that name? That's a name. That's a real name, right? Somebody has named that. Justin Watson.
Josh Naylor is a baseball player. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a baseball player.
Justin Watson for our double stack. I don't know, dude.
I mean, are you more comfortable with him than like a Kadarius Toney or Denarius Prince? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I know he's running basically all the snaps over Marquise Brown with the ones right now, but that doesn't correlate to targets because he always gets snaps. He just doesn't get opportunities.
He runs wind sprints.
Like I know Kadarius Toney's been a complete bust and he sucks, eggs and all that stuff. But if he's on the field, he's probably going to have like a 20 to 25% target or touch share. And that's just because you're going to play 6 snaps. We'll probably get you 3 touches or 2 touches.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I think I'm more comfortable with Naylor between the whole grouping, but
I think actually we should just go ahead and go Watson because we have Mahomes.
Okay.
And Kelsey.
Over Tony.
Well, unless you were convinced by my soliloquy.
I don't know. It's just so ugly.
I'm basically comfortable with or not. Let me phrase that. I'm not comfortable with any of them, but I am. As long as you don't go Sky Moore, I am fine with whoever you take.
Okay. Well then let's between these two, I'm gonna let you pick.
Oh, if we're doing those two, I would say Justin Watson. It would also be our first year of Justin Watson, probably.
It'd been my first share of Naylor too, I
Well,
think.
hopefully it's Nick's first year, Naylor.
Yeah, let's go get it now. Let's go get it, Nick.
Get that second Minnesota Viking.
That'll be
I dare you.
9.
Look at all their receivers at the end.
Yep.
They're just like, I don't know what to do.
Trey Tucker too. Guy that's playing with he's a 3 for the Raiders, or he's the wide receiver 3 for the Raiders. But he's not going to play that much because we're going to be in 12 personnel like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
If we're smart. Gerald Everett. Okay. All right, Nick, do it. That's not it. He said I didn't have enough running backs. Well, how many running backs you got? Let's see. Okay, he had 6 running backs. So okay. That's not very many for where you're at. Jerome Ford, Ty. Yeah, I would have probably taken some extras.
You're painting the narrative that he's getting dealt to a team that can use him. Like if he hypothetically went to Dallas, like I'm saying, if basically insert disgruntled running back committee running back on Dallas, he instantly becomes a top 25 caliber running back if he takes the job. So if you get him in the 20th round and he's a Cowboy, home run pick. But a lot of things have to go right for that to work out, in my opinion.
That's like a Chase Claypool pick right now. Let's go through our team.
Okay.
So we get Jamar Chase. He fell to us from the 5 spot because Monreal's above him now. Debo. Don't have very many shares of Debo. Wanted to get some more. We also don't have very many shares of this stack between Mahomes and Kelsey, so that's always fun. Kenneth Walker's climbing up our boards, so we like getting him. Keenan Allen is the most exposed player that I have, I believe, so that's fun. Christian
Apparently
Watson.
He's 230 pounds and just
no one. Yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know why that affects anything, but whatever. He's still like an NFL football player, and he's really good. So Watson and Love to pair. Javonte Williams, one of our favorite running backs, running back 2s. Jonathan Brooks, late year guy that we really like. Rico Dowdle, best running back on the board at that point. Jahan Dotson running a lot of routes with 1 still from the slot. 2 tight ends. Tyron Tracy, Marshawn Lloyd, Jim McMillan, 3 straight rookies. Andre Iosivas from Cincinnati. We could have got, like you said earlier, Joe Burrow and double snacked. We got the stack between AJ Dillon and Marshawn Lloyd, and then we got Justin Watson because why not get a double stack with Kansas City?
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, the only kind of wishes that I had to kind of improve this team is, Javonte. We talked about Audric. We've gotten a ton of him, but it's even better getting a handcuff with him. And then also with Jonathan Brooks missing the first couple of weeks for sure, getting Chuba Hubbard, who's back at practice, would have been nice as well. But I think he got reached on in the 13th round. So that's something that didn't. Yeah, he was right after us in the. Yeah, we might have been able to. He probably would have been our target if he fell to us in the 14th. But that's neither here nor there. And then don't have to go through next team, but he crushed it that draft.
Love him, Nick.
Yep. So we're about to get in the second one, guys. Let's all 8:10 on the dot. Yeah. So that gives you about a minute 20 to get ready. Again, it's the $3, 200,000 in prizes, 20 max. We'll be kicking off in about 70 seconds. Hopefully, Dusty deposited funds.
Yeah.
So he can join us.
Steiger, I know you're in the chat.
Steiger's done a couple.
Griffin,
Nick,
you're in the
if you're feeling
chat.
frisky again, since I know your chauffeur is driving you around everywhere and you drafted safely and, not while driving. So if you have those times, and then if you have any other viewers that I see, we have 13 people watching this. If you guys wanted to join in, once again, $3, 200K in prizes, 20 max on DraftKings.
Yeah, it's the play action 3. We're gonna do it in about 40 seconds?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay.
Again, we're not gonna say 3, 2, 1, go. Just wait till the clock hits 8:10 and then press enter.
Yep. Nick, you get some extra points for running them people over. That'll be great for your draft. Always important. Got $3 on this one. What?
Just laughing.
Oh. How much time do I have? Sorry.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay. Well, then
I'm ready to get in.
Yeah, y'all get ready. We're gonna hop in here right No. Now? Now. Okay.
Maybe even I'm not sure if Brandon's here, but he commented, but he's drafted a couple with us as well. He's
Uh-oh.
actually made us unhappy with our lack of stacks
Wow, that
on
was
occasion too.
very quick.
Well, yeah, that's probably not a good thing then.
I have one drafting right now. Let's go see where we're at.
10. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is with Tim,
I-
we're probably going to get either in an ideal world, we're probably going to get either AJ Brown or Garrett Wilson, and then we're going to get our running back, which will be Jonathan Taylor or Gibbs
Yeah.
as a default. And then if something crazy happens, then that'll probably change it up. But that's kind of what we've typically have been doing at.
I think something fun at the 10 spot would be going AJ and then Jalen Hurts because I know he falls to 39 a lot.
Okay.
So
Which we've done that. I mean, we don't have many shares of AJ Brown, I think, but regardless, the ones that we've done on stream, I know both times that we did go with Jalen Hurts. So it is fun to do if you're going that way.
That stinks. Yeah, it filled as soon as I started it. Stagger and Dustin are in a
that
different
was
draft.
just
That
kind of
sucks.
unfortunate.
That's okay though.
Hopefully y'all kill it.
Y'all run the draft. What spots do y'all have, Dustin? Tell us where y'all are at. Maybe we can draft kind of in sync, based on where we are also.
In sync.
Yep, I do enjoy boy bands. No, Backstreet Boys are better. Yeah, Backstreet Boys are better.
Yeah.
Come on, Dustin. Where y'all at? Let's see. First, tough. Fifth for Steiger. Oh, Steiger's got a great spot though. So
yeah. The only thing is just because we know Chase will be there for him. It's just, does he go that or does he go with a running back to start? I guess.
I mean, he is a UT fan. He could go Bijan, and that's we like that pick.
I really like. So this is something we haven't brought up. We're about to go to Louisiana for a bachelor trip.
Yeah, that's true.
For Griffin, if he's done a couple of chats so far. So we're going to be able to legally sports bet. So we've been planning all week on what numbers to look. Have you looked at any like long bets, like for award winnings and numbers that kind of stuck out to you?
Well, other than the one that comes out on the bold prediction show, I have well, y'all can hear it because it comes out on Friday, but it is the Sauce Gardner Defense Player of the Year.
Okay.
He is at plus 2,000, which is just awesome.
20-1 essentially.
Yeah, and he's the best corner, and he's not even the first corner on the board. So that one excites me. I really like some of the over-unders for team for wins, and then I also like some of the who wins. Yeah, there you go, futures. Yes, sir. I also like the guys who win divisions.
Yeah.
So
one of the awards that I was looking at, I thought was interesting.
Reese.
I keep on clicking on.
This will never. It never happens. It never happens.
It's just not going to happen. But again, yeah,
There
Chase falling to 7. That's kind of becoming more and more common for these kinds of drafts. So again, we're going to get our choice probably of AJ or Garrett here, and AJ Brown. We had no choice.
Wow,
so
beautiful.
We're going to go him. And in a fun world, Marvin Harrison would fall, but he just is not falling anymore by default.
Let me go see Philly's schedule per the end of the year. Pittsburgh, Washington, Dallas.
Yeah. So we've gotten a ton of Pittsburgh. We've gotten a ton of Dallas, and then Washington. We've had some shares of Bijan. Haven't gotten a ton of Terry McLaurin because he didn't really fall until, fall late enough until recently, and then now he's starting to rise up again.
Oh, we're up again. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
That's fast.
And we kind of have our choice on running back.
So I don't care that we're going Philly. I don't think Barkley's worth double stacking. So I think Gibbs is the running back if we're going running back.
Beautiful. I completely agree with that. Dustin went Tyreek Hill first.
Nice.
Okay. Perfect.
I mean, I completely understand it. We haven't gotten a ton of him. It's mainly because we didn't really have the third pick.
Went Brees? Okay.
So go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was saying, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say Steiger went Brees over Chase. Go ahead, though. My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, so it's just kind of, we had a ton of seconds and fourths. And when Tyreek was the consensus third pick, and then we just kind of convinced ourselves, like, listen, we want more shares of CD and Jamar. Right now, makes me a little nervous because those are the only two people holding out. However, they're not dealing with injuries.
Right. That's
so
exactly what
I'm less concerned about that than a CMC if I had a ton of CMC shares. But anyway, so going back to the futures I wanted to bring up, I thought it was interesting because of the offensive player of the year numbers. Um, I'm looking at guys because CMC won last year. Obviously, I don't see him winning again. He's already hurt also. Um, but CD Lamb 10-1, Jamar Chase 12-1. You've got somebody like Bijan's 18-1, and then you've got guys like I don't see a Brees Hall OPOY. I just don't think they'll be good enough to warrant that. I don't think they will be. And
Okay.
then they're definitely not going to sweep offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was gonna say. Is it's more based for me. Like I think they're gonna be good enough. I just think that it's based on their defense, not their offense.
But yeah, I mean, I can't paint the narrative for Saquon to do it. I can't paint the narrative for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor's 30-1. So
Ooh.
that one was another one that I liked.
Pretty.
But yeah, I thought those were numbers that were nice because they're kind of long.
Yeah,
Longer than at least other awards because like NFL MVP, I think the favorite, Mahomes is 4.75
yeah,
to 1.
not enough.
There's 4 guys above 10-1, and so I just rather not.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a long shot. But defensive player of the year, like you said, really similar ordeal. Keep clicking on the wrong thing.
I saw a few of those. I know that most of them are pass rushers.
So other than a Micah and a TJ, which I don't really less than 6-1 doesn't intrigue me, but most of them are kind of long enough, I guess.
Let's see. There goes Travis Etienne. Malik Neighbors goes at his price, what he's been going at, which is just too high still. We released a short and about Neighbors and the situation that he is in with Daniel Jones. Guys,
all those highlight plays are coming against twos.
It's not even
and
just,
it's not that he's not
Daniel
talented
Jones
enough.
is just not good. He's just gonna hurt.
Your upside with your 3rd round pick, if you're in these drafts, it's like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and you can't have your 3rd round pick be scoring 5 touchdowns.
Oh, Dustin got Waddle. I like that. So double stacking early or trying to double stack early.
3-7 in this draft, which is cool. Do you think he can follow us? There's 2 quarterbacks since Josh Allen's not there or not off the board yet, and there's nobody in between us that has a Philly player.
Right.
So I think we can wait.
Yeah.
Ayuk is falling into the range where I'm okay with it. If you wanted that route, it would also correlate with Gibbs if you thought he would stay to end the season. We've gotten a ton of digs.
I know, but at this point, it's just like where he's at is crazy to me. Ayuk's fine
at 34. And again, like I said, it correlates with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Also it's a rare buy.
Who has Devontae? Because I think he went before us. So I don't think we're gonna get. Well, I'm not gonna say it out loud actually, because every time we do, it messes everything up.
The gridiron guy going Kelsey should signal if he's going quarterback, he would go Mahomes, and then this guy, if he knows what's good for him, he should go with Josh Allen.
So Nick said, I love JT, but won't Anthony Richardson take away some of his rushing touchdowns / yards if he's healthy? In my personal opinion, you cannot, as a coach, allow Anthony Richardson to get hurt. You need to take that
part. 3
part.
Separate injuries in 4 games.
Yeah, you need to take that part of his game out of the game a little bit. And luckily, they have a good running back that can do the things. That's annoying. I can't
listen. We can just abandon ship and possibly get somebody else.
Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Oh,
or yeah,
me too. Because it's just so much better. Okay.
All right. Change of plans. Plan B. Pivot.
We love pivoting.
When no one wants to take Josh Allen,
we take Josh Allen. Yeah, we'll do it. It's fine at 39. But yeah, so me personally, I think you have to kind of take that away from him and not allow him to get injured, because you have Joe Flacco behind him right now. As good as Joe Flacco was to end the season last year, it's not going to be the same recipe this time around. I don't believe, if that happens. So Anthony Richardson needs to be healthy for them to be good, and he hasn't proven that he's good healthy necessarily either.
I don't think the touchdowns are really a concern as much as like the pass game work, because if you're in a PPR league, you want somebody that can ideally average 4 to 5 targets a game, And I don't see that happening with a low volume, but also running quarterback.
Right, for sure.
But I don't like him said, he is big, he's physical, building a
That
lab,
doesn't amount
but
it.
he's very brittle and he's young. So if he's already brittle, I feel like they're not going to be like, okay, we should tush push and just figure it out when they know that they could have possibly made a playoff run and been the Houston Texans of last year had he not gotten hurt. So I think it would be more ideal for them if they're going to not force him to have the 15 touchdown rushing upside, which I don't. If he doesn't have that, I don't think he should belong in the first 4 rounds with guys like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, and then Mahomes because he has 5,000 yard upside.
Right. And so that's kind of my thing too, is like that's why I think JT is a reasonable play in like betting lines like that, because of the fact that if he is, because they don't care about PPR. Like they don't care about the receptions. It doesn't matter to them. So if he goes for say what 1,500 rushing yards, 1,600 rushing yards, at that point, say he scores, I don't know, 12 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and like does some things in the air, like he has a chance to get offensive player of the year. Better than his line shows, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely think he would have been better than 30-1.
Yeah. Especially after 2 years ago being one of the top in that category. So
yeah, I'm not fearful or chasing minor injuries like that. If you did that when CMC went off, the last 2 years because he had back-to-back years with injuries, you missed out. And it's not like we avoided him, but we just didn't get a ton because that was starting in 2022. That was the start where more and more receivers were going in round
right.
one. And so we started kind of trying to do that as well. And so I think he was like still a top 5 pick. I don't think even after his injuries, either year he ever went below that. Let's
Wow.
go.
Well, this
This
is
is going to be
just
a home
awesome.
run because I know exactly what else I want. If
This
you
is,
scroll or go back to the
you
draft
want me to
board,
go down? Okay.
either way. Okay, never mind. I was thinking about Kendall Walker,
Oh no, he just
but
went.
okay. But that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
That was the best, and similar to the Kelsey Mahomes stack, we have a ton of Josh Allen, and we have a ton of Dalton Kincaid, but it was hard to get them together because you had to reach for them.
Right.
But when you get both of them to fall to you at the early 4th and end of 5th,
it's killer.
that's
Absolutely
just
killer.
awesome.
I think it's going to be receiver, just
Yeah, we're
based
definitely
on
gonna
where
need-
we're at.
I would ideally love. Well, I'm not even going to say it because Gridiron's going after going one receiver in the first 5 rounds.
Nah, he's going Anthony Richardson.
Shoot.
I mean,
I don't understand why
he's
went
going to go
Rashee
Anthony
Rice.
Richardson so he can stack him with.
Why did he go Rashee Rice
Okay, Christian
when
Watson,
Mahomes was there? Well, okay, going Christian Watson just means he's trolling. So, George Pickens is my guy.
Okay, that's what I thought.
As long as Brandon Ayuk does not go there, I think he is going to be a wide receiver 2 this season, which is top 24, and that is above basically everybody's ranking. He's kind of right.
Ours, including ours,
barely including ours.
Yeah,
I think he's our wide receiver 25 or 26.
I think. Yeah.
But that range is pretty tough too because it's really hard with like Michael Pittman. Everybody has him high, and I have no confidence taking Michael Pittman a whole round ahead of George Pickens.
Right
now, if they were next to each other, I still don't even know if I would take Pittman over Pickens.
Fair. Steiger sent his draft in. It's Kyler. So that includes he went Brees, Kyler, Debo, Mike Evans, and then Trey McBride. Okay. Yeah. I think it's solid.
It's pretty solid. I'm assuming that means that you went Kyler in the 5th round, which slight reach, but he's a guy that we're in love with.
Yeah.
But everybody else is as well. That's why he's kind of rising as much as he is.
We were in love with him before that.
But we actually put him above Dak now in our rankings. That is one small change. And they were just kind of right next to each other. He's actually above Anthony Richardson, which I don't get anybody that wants to put Anthony Richardson over Kyler Murray.
They have similar upside rushing. Kyler takes care of his body.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I think, well, and obviously Kyler has a better upside with passing because he has a good surrounding, just like Anthony Richardson does, or similar, I guess. But he's actually going to be asked to throw the ball close to possibly 32 times a game.
Yeah. And another quick plug his passing yards prop was one of our hammers on prospects and underdog.
Yes.
So if you do have either of those platforms, and if you don't, we will be doing DraftKings and prospects videos. We will attach our link in the description so you can get kind of promo. There will be deposit matches. There's fun free squares, all kinds of things. But both of them are less than 3,500 yards, and he's never not had that in a healthy season.
Yep. Go check out our video. We have a Prize Picks and Underdog video up. Of course, this would be part of the Prize Picks video. So go check that one out if you like the Kyler line. If you haven't played Prize Picks, like Cam said, there's a link in the description on that video that you can use to get Prize Picks. And yeah, we have a Discord also where we talk Prize Picks
We're about
lines
to
and
go
underdog
pretty
lines.
heavy in Discord.
So
yeah, for years we've been doing like group chats with friends of like, this is strategy, this is what we're doing on our daily fantasy lines and weekly lineups. This is how we're building. We're not doing none of that with y'all in group chats this year. It's straight up going to be in Discord. So if you have questions, if you want to talk lines, it's going to be there. So kind of start fiddling around with it. There's not a ton, but there's going to become more and more, and we're going to get more accustomed to, like, instead of sending a text of something, we're going to be posting in Discord. And please feel free to join. It's free content for now. We'll be adding more and more as we get accustomed to this, familiar with this, and then there's going to be more add-ons that you can maneuver around, purchase.
Right. Yeah. One day we'll
like
have
that.
a Patreon. One day we'll have a website with a whole optimizer with DFS
Rankings,
optimizers
articles,
ranking.
all that
Yeah.
stuff.
We're just not there yet because this is our first year, but it'll happen. That's awesome. We are going to double stack our quarterback.
All right.
I think we have to, right?
Yes.
Because
Why haven't you clicked him?
We have no running backs.
No. The ideal start is that, and then going
hammer running backs.
Yeah, which one of the teams is sabotaging? So I don't know what they're going to do, but they've already done 3 running backs.
Well, this guy's also an auto.
Okay.
So,
well, either way, there's a specific. Well, then that would put us with the second Steeler, which I
don't care.
It's tough, but oh well.
I mean, yeah, their offense isn't going to be that great, but he's the number 1 running back on the team. That stinks.
Yeah,
because then
he wasn't. Yeah, he at this point he's gotten into the top 100, so he wasn't going to fall to us at the 9-10. So we would have had to take him over Najee, which Najee ended up falling to us. That's who I am interested in going to. What are your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay, and then maybe crossing fingers on Chase Brown.
Yeah, we're 6 picks after that.
Yeah,
unfortunately. So we'll see. That one's a little bit more difficult.
Right.
Joe Burrow was still on the board. He got to 88 that time. I guess maybe he is in that range. Maybe I was wrong. JSN did go at 78. We've been talking about him a lot. He moved. He's finally going up boards. I don't know what receiver that is, but it feels like receiver 40.
Yeah, I mean, we've had him in the top 40 all summer, and everybody's just drafting him at his floor. He's finally starting to rise a little bit, which we're fine getting, but we just haven't gotten a ton of.
Right.
We're also prioritizing Kenneth Walker as well as RB2 because he's rising, and we wanted more shares of him because JSN have a bunch of. And Seattle's not a team we're interested in double stacking because we're not confident Geno Smith is going to play the entire season. Because Sam Howell, if you watched the last preseason game,
looks great.
He looked fantastic. So, and it just kind of depends because Geno's never been a guy that's just going to force things. He's going to just try to game manage. Whereas Sam Howell's like, nah, he's Gardner Minshew-esque.
I'm here to win.
He's poor man's Brett Favre. He's Tony Romo. Jameis. Like, he doesn't care about leading the league in picks. He wants to also lead the league in passing. So, and he has the receivers capable of doing it. So if and when he did take over,
even better
for us. But problem is you have to go both Seattle quarterbacks if you're doing a double stack, which is different from everybody else, but it's something that we don't want to force doing.
Oh, well, Steiger got JSN in his.
Nice.
He got DeMont, JSN, Aaron Jones, and Sutton. So you have 3 running backs at this point between Brees, DeMont, and Aaron Jones. Yeah.
I probably would have went another receiver and just gone one of Monty and Aaron Jones because you did go with Brees Hall.
Yeah, I agree.
But at the end of the day,
I don't hate it though.
You have 4 receivers that could be top 2 options in their offenses. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
start.
I don't hate it one bit. How's Dustin doing? Dustin, are you in here? How are you doing?
How many Cardinals do you have? Over under 2.5.
Oh, well, what is it? Round 10?
Well, he went.
Round 10 there?
Oh, Steiger took McBride from him
Oh.
and Kyler. So I bet you
Oh.
Destiny just left the.
No Cardinals yet? Yeah, because they're all on Steiger's team,
Yep.
Dustin. You missed out on Marvin Harrison because you were the first overall pick.
Down
Yeah.
bad.
He's gonna have to get got Kittle. Okay. Well,
All right.
that's good, but that's not a Cardinal.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That's a tandem of tight ends
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Well, I mean, you know, and then they'd have to share 85.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff.
No, I think McBride would have to give it to
So
him.
there's two guys that could be falling in this next 9-10 turn that I'd be interested at the running back spot.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the board because I feel like there's some guys still there.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
So
the
Bowers
same
is
thing.
still there.
Yeah, there's a
those
lot of guys
guys-
there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind any of these guys. And also DeAndre Hopkins, there's optimism that he's going to be ready actually week 1. So he's fallen to the point where he's a wide receiver 5. Like, sign me up for a wide receiver 5. Like,
All day long.
there's going to be somebody, and I don't know who it is, but there's always somebody in the 7th round that people expect to drop off because of either age, situation. Like Michael Pittman was the guy last year that fell. The year before, and also Mike Evans fell to the 7th because it's like, well, he can't go 8 in a row or 9 in a row of 1,000 yards. Yeah, he can.
He
and
will.
10 touchdowns
And he will.
Baker's him, like all those things. So there's always one of those guys in the 8 to 10 rounds.
We're one
That
short.
sucks.
Pain.
All right. So my idea
Well.
is to go receiver with one of these two, whether you want
Do you think all 3 of these receivers are going to go before our next turn?
well then let's go Brian.
That's what I'm asking.
No, we can go Brian.
Like, you know what I mean? Just so we get our running back.
No, you're absolutely correct because
Okay.
he's the top guy on the board.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was even going with that spiel. But yeah, so if Samuel fell, cool.
Yeah.
If Samuel or Shakir to give us a triple fell,
Whatever.
awesome. DeAndre Hopkins again.
Fine.
What are we, wide receiver 5?
Yeah.
More than fine.
Beautiful. Nick Chubb
There's
goes.
even guys. Don't draft Nick Chubb in these drafts.
He's early. That's early. 107.
If you want to draft him in a redraft because he's going to be eligible for the pup and you can get somebody else extra, fine. I don't care. He's going to be cheap.
Are you getting Greg Dortch, Dustin? Is that the Cardinal you're for sure getting?
At least the guy that did go with Chubb, which he has 5 running backs now. So, okay, real quick, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the triple or do you want to just go
I think I want to go DeAndre.
Okay, that's fine.
I think the discount's worth it.
Let's let it ride. It'll be our first week 5 buy for a receiver, but second
right
week 5 buy.
Yeah,
That's
because
not
we
a
also had
common
some other week 12 buys because Kincaid, Keon, but we had someone else was a week 12 buy. I thought maybe I'm
The other
completely
day
wrong.
I had a fun build where I basically had the AFC South
Maybe I'm wrong.
on my entire build because
Mhm.
I had a Houston double and then I got a Jacksonville double and then I got Tennessee, DeAndre Hopkins, and I got who
Okay.
do I get from Indy? Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
So it was just a whole bunch of AFC South. I was like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Having fun over here.
That whole division is like so close in
Mhm.
my opinion. Tennessee obviously is like by far the lowest out of the 4, but you can make narratives that all 3 of the other 3 teams could win that division.
I'm not we're going to be shooting and talking about our final
Super excited.
predictions and stuff like that. Very excited to shoot that and finally go over those things. I'm not picking a specific team to win the division now, but I will say the second best odds should not be plus 270. That's what Jacksonville is.
Right.
They were on pace to go back to back, and then they kind of fell apart physically. And Houston, they were just kind of beating average teams.
Right.
Barely.
They were 10-7. It wasn't.
But they were 10-7.
They didn't play anybody from the year prior that was in the playoffs.
Exactly. So you always got to be careful with those. Like Minnesota was 13-0 in fourth quarter.
11 or
11-0.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, it was an unprecedented kind of streak, and then they fell back. The Giants had like a run where they made the playoffs, and it was mainly because they just were not playing anybody.
Right.
And then the following year,
Terrible.
which was last year, I called they're going to be like 1-6 to start the year.
And they paid Daniel Jones because of it,
that
man.
was silly also.
Craziness. But yeah, everything, like, just so that everybody knows, you might really like a team, but it's all about schedule. It's all about schedule. because
Nobody
truly,
talks about that enough in fantasy either. Like
oh yeah,
tie breaking all these like tiers of receivers. Like, give me the guy that has a great matchup week 17. So
yeah, absolutely, and that's why we follow week 15 through 17. Of course, is all the playoffs, because you have to get to week 17, and that's of course just kind of what we expect. If we don't get to week 17, it doesn't matter. But using we have a schedule sheet that shows those games and the games that matter and who they're going to be playing and expectations versus those position groups and stuff like that.
mhm.
So, and that's what we talk about sometimes on here when we're like, oh, who do they play week 17? Well, we have Detroit versus who's Detroit versus San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah, we had that in our last one.
Mhm. Remind me of who
Or
Buffalo
this one.
is playing.
Buffalo is playing New York Jets. Tough game.
We don't have any Jets.
We don't.
Really, the only two Jets we're interested in are the first round. So, and we obviously didn't pick.
You don't want Mike Williams?
We couldn't pick. No, we couldn't pick Garrett because he was picked before. But at the time, we were like, "Oh, we're gonna get this cool Philly stack.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome."
We just abort.
No,
Calvin Ridley. I mean Calvin Ridley. Sorry. Malachi Corley is the guy that we could get later.
Sure.
If we wanted to.
Sure.
Gross. I like Jacoby. We don't have any Raiders. We haven't gotten very many Raiders in a while, and he is running so many from the slot. It's awesome.
And that first preseason game, he looked really, really good.
I don't know what to do at running back.
I have no idea.
Because
is Zeke still there?
No, they're all gone. Everybody's gone.
Chuba has an idea.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens when we get back.
What's our running back room? We have Najee. We had a fun guy. Who's our fun guy? Gibbs, and then we just went Brian Robinson Jr. So Chuba as a safe guy, but we would have to get him now, which is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's tough.
Or we can go with the JK. We moved him into our top 50. It's not because we love him. It's just because
he's gone.
Well, shut up, Cam.
Well, we could get Chuba though. It's okay.
That's fine.
It's okay.
I'm not mad. But yeah, we'd have to reach on him a little bit. But we get that first couple of weeks certainty. He was RB 11 the final 5-6 weeks of the season last year, so he is fantasy productive in starting roles.
Griffin asked, who would each of you rather have in terms of target share and potential, London or Evans?
If price doesn't matter, Drake London.
Right, absolutely, completely agree. Drake London.
Steiger said Evans, but yeah, I mean, there's he's an unrivaled.
We're up. Sorry.
No, yeah, we'll take your pick and then I'll say my spiel.
Yeah.
I like Rashid Shaheed, him falling.
Will we just be done with receiver?
Maybe one more.
Oh, I don't think we need one more at that point. Maybe, we'll but see. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I like him as a. The only thing is that's our third receiver was a 12 bye.
It autoed.
To Chuba?
Okay. Yeah.
So
that would have been 7
so yeah, with Drake London, he's just unrivaled in terms of target share, other than Kyle Pitts, who we're hoping, third, fourth time's the charm at this point, and obviously Bijan, who is a running back. Darnell Mooney has not been having a great camp. He's a wide receiver 2. Rondell Moore lost for the season. Ray McLeod is their wide receiver 3, and he's on whatever team in whatever year and has never been fantasy relevant whatsoever. So he, as a default, because Kirk Cousins has peppered receivers with targets. We think of Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs back in the day with his early portion of Jamison Crowder way back when.
Yeah.
He even had some Pierre Garçon years.
Right.
And then also most recently Justin Jefferson, who's been wide receiver 1 overall. He's made a tight end 1 overall with TJ Hawkinson. So he peppers. The problem is he's not healthy. But also Drake London, his ADP is kind of baked in because at least in redraft, you can get him in the 3rd round on some platforms. But in the second, you have to invest an early 2nd round pick essentially to guarantee that you get London. That's just really tough for us.
Yeah, because you can get like Evans early 3rd to middle 3rd, and
like it's close because Evans is so much more talented. However, I don't think it's enough of a gap. So again, we're going to be doing an auction draft. If they're going for the same amount of dollars, I'd rather have Drake London.
Fair. I think the thing for me is it's consistency and floor versus upside. because
Yes.
that's what Drake London brings. Like that's why everybody's like Drake London this, Drake London that, because yes, you can paint the picture that he is some of the highest upside of any player at the position. But that doesn't always pan out. So when it doesn't work, then the floor guy, Mike Evans, who gets 1,000 yards in how many seasons now? Eight, seven,
It was
eight?
9 in a row.
Yeah, like all of those
Yeah,
seasons.
2013 was his. No, 2014 was his draft class. So this is his 10th season.
10th. Okay, so exactly. So he is just so consistent, and that's why he makes sense. I love the explanation, guys. Hi, Kim. I would say price wouldn't matter, so I agree with London. Okay, perfect.
Well, the thing is, price will matter if you're doing a redraft because there is a gap between the two.
Right.
But if you're doing an auction draft, which is a less common form of drafting, but it's the better type of draft, if you're trying to do just a go get your guys kind of build, they're probably going to go within $5 of each other. And I think at that point, especially if I have the money to do so, I might force myself to get there if he's not going above whatever price that I kind of cap him at.
So right now on ESPN, Mike Evans is 29 and Drake London is 32. And,
Yeah. So ESPN, Drake London all day.
And Yahoo, actually.
Yahoo, don't know why that is.
Same. But yeah.
But again, like their ADPs are just so weird. So we still have not gone a second quarterback or second tight end. Going to Sean. Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Or
another
better hurry.
We also no. Let's go to Sean here.
Okay.
Another idea for running back, since we kind of need another running back, and it would be a triple, would be Ray Davis.
Okay.
As
I'm not against it.
And we haven't had enough of Ray Davis. He's the one guy of that rookie tier that he kind of stayed. He was above the Braylon Allens of the world, and Tyrone Tracy's and Kamani Vidal's, all these guys, and we just weren't getting a ton of. But he's the one that's been having the best game action of anybody, like even including Trey Benson and obviously Jonathan Brooks.
He is the best opportunity based on style of play.
On top of that, James Cook, who's playing all the snaps with the one, so it's not like a snap count thing.
You want to do that now?
Yes.
Okay, let me go get him. I think he's 165. All right. Yeah, it's not. You're right. It's not a snap count thing.
Yeah, it's not a snap count thing because James Cook's playing with all the ones, but James Cook has also had ball security issues, and that's continued in camp reportedly. So if those things happen and they're beating themselves, because Buffalo has beat themselves as much as they've lost to such bad quarterback play in recent years, just dropping games that they shouldn't on any planet be losing, and it's not taking care of the football. So if you have running back that won't do that, Ray Davis could be a guy that could take over and have more touches than you would think.
Griff said, I'm also curious to hear y'all's take on whether outside main receivers are going to outshine the inside slot / tight ends this year. With Cam being an offensive guy and Emery being a defensive guy, is it easier to get the ball to the outside receiver? It's Good not. Question. It's okay. So in my opinion, like it's not even that. It's that the outside receiver is normally the better athlete, the guy that can go up and get it. The slot receiver is by far the easier guy to get the ball. Like we've talked about JSN. JSN's a guy that could have 110 targets, in my opinion, 100 targets, say. And it's because distance from the line of scrimmage and the quarterback is a quicker, easier throw. But normally, outside receivers are the guys that are better athletes, better football players, top to bottom. And so that's why they're out there.
And a lot of today's game is kind of more catered towards quick, short throws,
right?
Quicker to the line of scrimmage and not throwing it deep.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, people will do that, but not nearly as much as they used to. People are not, looking for the gunslinging mentality. That's why it's kind of like completion percentage. You can't really look at that as a legit stat anymore, because somebody can have 68%, but it's just 4 yards to throw.
Yeah, depth of target is nothing.
So,
but yeah, I guess my personal opinion, like it's easier to get the ball to the slot receivers. The outside receivers are just normally guys that have more ball skills and are better athletes. So forcing the ball down the field, well, they might run faster 40s, while the guys at the slot are quicker. More possession players like tight ends, like they're big guys. You see Travis Kelce run routes. He is unathletic, but he knows how to find space. He knows how to use his body to post up, things like that. So, and it's not a far throw, so Patrick can just bullet it in there, and it doesn't
Or
take that
throw it
long to
behind
get
the
there.
back
Or
like in the
yeah,
preseason.
exactly.
So
So but Michael Wilson goes in the 14th this time instead of the 13th.
Douglas is, like I said,
That's early.
his ADP reflects 180 still, but he's starting to rise up a little bit as well. Yeah, but this
Also-
draft's actually, I feel like it's going by a little quick.
One thing about what Griffin said, a lot of teams are schemed up, obviously. I love looking at the Cooper Cup stuff from 2 years ago when basically what they did with Cooper Cup was when it was a slot team, like he would absolutely just shred them. The teams that run the most slot, I mean, sorry, not slot, zone team. That's what I meant to say. He would shred them. And so, who is it? I think the Colts are the most run zone team. They run like 65% of cover two, basically. And so whenever he plays certain teams, he just eats them apart because he is so good at getting into like certain spaces. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the best athlete, but he's so intellectual. That's why he's so good. So
Yeah, we're up in 2 picks. I want you to scroll up a little bit. I want to see the roster counts for our 2 teams. So if we need a second tight end, and I think because the team 11 has only one, I think we have to go with Isaiah Likely.
That's fine. He's
and then figure it out.
Shouldn't be there.
So went there, and then
do we have one quarterback?
We have
Oh, no, we have
Deshaun, and yeah, we just took Deshaun, but we'll need a third tight end at this point if Likely's our tight end 2. Not sure if there's somebody in particular that you're targeting. It looks like tight ends are getting pushed up the board a little bit in this draft.
Torch just got sniped.
Shakes fist finally. Love it. But
let's go get some running backs.
We have 4 running backs or 5?
4.
4. Oh, yeah. We need some
5.
depth.
No, we do have 5.
Okay.
Who did we get? I guess other than Ray Davis.
You got Gibbs, Najee,
Chuba. Okay. I don't hate it. I actually like this team.
One guy that we haven't really gotten a ton of, but it makes a lot of sense is Wan'Dale Robinson.
I do like Wan'Dale.
Speaking of slot receivers, and he's really catered to PPR leagues because he gets a lot of touches right around the line of scrimmage.
Negative behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, last year he was coming off of ACL, so it was kind of tough for him, but he really kind of started coming on late by default. But I feel like we still have to. What do you think? I think we got to go running back, right?
Yeah. Which one would you like to go?
Kamani. Don't let our bold take die.
I mean, anything can happen, especially with 2 old guys playing in front of you.
Yeah. Old, battered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon. Okay.
Over Marshawn Lloyd.
AJ Dillon. Good. Demarcus Robinson, Bateman, Vidal. Is it? No, I thought it's Vidal. Is it Vidal? I'm swear we're gonna get it. And then Douglas. We love all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dortch. There's the Dortch sighting. Dustin got
going
sniped.
in the 16th now. He's basically going earlier than what Michael Wilson was a month ago.
And now Michael Wilson is in the 14th in this draft and the 13th in the last draft. Yeah.
11th.
Oh, this is 11th? Oh, my goodness.
And that wasn't by a team that was playing stupid.
No, they were picking.
They were picking. Maybe they could have picked a little smarter. However,
it's crazy to think that.
I mean, the team that picked him picked Mims in the 15th.
Well, there goes Gray. I mean, that's a little early. So
yeah,
Tyron Tracy's still on the board.
So was for Josh Downs. Well, actually, maybe not. I don't know. He was having a good camp, and he just kind of got
if the injury didn't happen. Justice Hill though going at 189. That's 10 picks early. He could have landed on us, I guess, but we probably wouldn't have taken him still. I know a guy that I want. Actually,
another thing I saw I'm just thinking about his name because we need a third tight end, but Jelani Woods, who was a guy that everybody was pushing as an athletic tight end for
Indy.
Yeah. He just suffered a hamstring injury.
I'm
sorry, no. He missed most of last year with the hamstring. he's out definitely now with the toe injury.
I was gonna say he's getting cut.
So yeah,
no matter what now.
maybe cut or just IR eligible.
True.
But
I mean, because they can, I guess.
he just never was a thing, and we never really. Maybe if we were doing more common 3 tight end bills, we would have fell into more of him by default. But we just never really went down that track, and there's a lot of people that had 19th, 20th round flyers on him that are now sad.
Yeah. I mean, he was sitting in that spot, and we were like, is he really supposed to be the starter? I mean, we had that conversation a little bit, but now we know that he was never supposed to be that, and he was the third stringer. So we love a good Dortch sighting. Yes,
Right.
Dustin.
Yeah. So wrapping it up, we got about 4 picks left, and then we'll get out of here. We got to go pack.
Yes,
For a
for our
road trip.
trip. Yeah. Most of my stuff's packed. I don't, but got all the golf stuff ready to go.
Golf stuff. I've got money to lose.
Absolutely.
All that stuff.
Sorry, Taylor. Chica Conquo, man. I think that there have been a lot of tight ends being picked. I am surprised.
I know. I don't know who the last one would be that maybe we'd be interested in.
Jatavian Sanders.
Greg Dulcich.
Yeah.
But he's also week 14 bye, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter when you're 3 tight end build.
Yeah.
Wandale
is still there.
I mean, yeah, Wandale. Go Wandale right
That's
now.
craziness.
Thanks,
thanks, guys.
So 18th round. Sivas is still there. Rojo was somebody that I was thinking about, but also I wanted you to filter the tight end to just kind of look at some names to. Oh. I don't want anything to do with Colby.
You sure?
or Jawan.
Nah, Greg.
Dulcich or Jatavian is probably our last bet.
Yeah.
Or if you want it, because we have Kincaid, if you wanted to be safe with Dawson.
Yeah, we could do that.
Have 4 bills.
Jeez.
On a Philly build.
All right, let's see what happens here.
We're having fun. Apparently, Quentin Johnson had a really good day in practice. That was something that I saw today. He made a bunch of highlight grabs. Still don't want to touch him anymore.
No.
Based on how much we invested in him early.
Rojo,
let's do it.
Steiger said that Kyler and Baker have the same bye. Yeah, they do. That's correct. So I hope you got a third quarterback.
Yeah. Baker is interesting. Like, pretend those guys didn't have the same bye. Do you think that Baker is capable enough to be a anchor of a second quarterback bill, or do you think you need a third?
I think he's fine. Personally,
he's like the last guy.
Yeah. He's I mean, he's not. Justin Fields is the last guy. But
as a QB2,
okay. Guys that are up here, like he should also be ahead of them, in my opinion. I love Bo Nix. Don't get me wrong, but that's too high.
Even Fields starting earlier than we think, and all is the risk of him not starting,
right,
and being annoying in that way. So I guess that is a little bit higher risk. But if you had somebody like a Josh Allen, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's kind of similar to T.J. Hawkinson, who's gonna miss 5-6 weeks probably, but you got Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews or something of that nature.
Right. I don't. Darius Slayton goes. We talked about him earlier. Let's see. Iosivas falls to 214. Jatavian Sanders goes. All the tight ends just went, except for the 2 that we were talking about.
Okay.
Oh, and Zach Ertz, I guess. Zach Ertz is still there.
I mean, Greg Dulcich is reportedly living the dream with return to game action. So,
Zach Ertz. Okay. Well, Adam Troutman's still over him on the depth chart.
He's a blocking tight end. I don't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not comfortable with. They have 3 tight ends.
He moved the chains for the Broncos on 3rd and 17 versus the Packers.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a really crazy stretch his rookie year where he had a 4 game where he was like a top 6 tight end.
I know, but then
he had back-to-back injury seasons.
Yeah, so. I mean, I didn't think he was bad, like as a prospect, but I never thought he was good as a prospect. If that makes sense. Yes, that's the guy you should be picking.
Why do you? So even if you if you had a
No need
shitty
to
tight
fear.
end build, like you shouldn't be going 4 tight ends.
No need to fear.
And if Noah Fant was his first tight end, then
George.
you should never go 4 tight end build, especially if you have George Kittle.
Yeah, George.
What was
This is
what's that
George.
about?
Oh,
George,
what
man.
the? That's
It's
okay.
fine.
We're gonna get the Greg.
We would have had to go through like a party table if we were committing that much to Buffalo.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still have them losing the currently. I haven't finalized.
Here's the deal: all of them are plus 180 or 200 to win the division, and
Yeah.
all of them are plus money to miss the playoffs. One of them is missing, and one of them has to win the division. So, if you are convinced on a guy or a team? Estimate going 19th. That was crazy.
Oh, wow, what's that?
But yeah, those are all good numbers if you are confident in one of those teams. But all of them have their issues.
So this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
if
Dustin.
out of nowhere we got Estimate.
Yeah, that would have been great. Yeah, Dustin. I don't have my stuff on, so I'll have to look at that after. But if you did send that in the Discord, I agree with Stagger. That would be great.
Yeah.
Trey Tucker on the auto draft team. That's interesting.
Carson Steele.
What a guy.
That's fun, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that's about. Still.
That was a weird one.
Still don't know why.
But he was inefficient, even though he was the first back off the. Denair Prince has obviously plummeted just because he wasn't the first running back in, but he still had a 41-yard carry.
Right.
So
what do we want? What's our last position?
Just kind of
look at us. All right. Look at us.
Did pretty well.
DJ Shark or Jordan Whittington. That's literally the only two I really like.
Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, that's fine.
Which one?
Which one?
Oh,
thanks. No. Let's
probably DJ.
I really don't care.
Probably
no. Let's go Whittington because we already have 2 week 5 buys, and
let's not fall into the trap of Puka this year.
Let's just Jordan Whittington's that guy and hook 'em horns, and man, we're just gonna have a good old time, man.
Let's talk about it. We started off with a beautiful Philly build.
Yeah, and that's where it ended.
So pick one was Philly, and then then we go with Detroit with Jahmyr Gibbs. Then we get a Week 17 game between Detroit and San Francisco, the last game of the year. Then we don't go Philly build, we go Buffalo builds, and we
value Buffalo build.
Absolutely. We get Josh Allen, Dalton, and Keon all at value. George Pickens and Najee. So Pittsburgh, of course.
Oh, we should have went with Joseph.
That's true. Yeah,
that's okay. It's okay, man.
From Washington, DeAndre, who is way lower at 1 than I'm used to. Jacoby Meyer at 130. He was 118. We're at lots of value here.
Yes.
First really big reach in Chuba, but we need running backs.
Yeah, we had to reach on him and Ray Davis just because we needed running backs at that point.
But Deshaun's not a reach. Love that. Isaiah Likely's hello. I don't know what happened. Isaiah Likely for our second tight end. Kamani, Wandale, and Roshan. All guys we've been getting a lot of. Well, actually, we haven't gotten that much of Wandale, but we like Wandale, especially when he's 20, 30 picks late. Greg Dulcich is going to come back into that top 10 tight end he's been in the past. And then Jordan Whittington, who has had the best preseason of any player so far. So
that wraps it up. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like the video if you haven't already. Thank you so much for supporting us. Can't thank you enough. We are 15 days away from the season.
Yep.
It is this close. We can almost taste it. We have several videos to still put out the rest of the year. We have one more preseason takeaways and then reaction to any kind of crazy breaking news, because every now and again there's a shocking cut or trade.
Right.
And then we got final predictions to do. And then we're going to get right into the season with the DFS first looks, the Thursday night showdown for for Baltimore and Kansas City. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I can't wait for you guys to tune in and see what we have to offer.
Yep. Go check out our Discords because we're about to be in there a lot. So make sure you get in there if you haven't done that yet. And I don't really have much. I had fun drafting. So
yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah.
Two more the rest of the year.
Yep.
And then we're done with best ball.
Yep. So y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all next time.
That's a weird salute.